All right, really quick. If you haven't watched my other videos on how to start a project and how to start using DaVinci Resolve, I'll leave the link in the description or click up here. Now, the key for this to work is that your video has to have some kind of recording of the audio. In this case, what I always try to do is just use the internal mics of my camera to record the audio in the room, the sound in the room, and I make sure to play the music loud enough so that it can be clear and picked up. But of course, this is not ideal for the mix because it's gonna sound like the room and not like the clean mix, and that's what we're looking for. I'm also gonna drag in my audio recording. So here I'm previewing the mix, and this is the clean audio. This is just a WAV file, that's a stereo file. So it has two channels, left and right. And we're gonna use that. Great, so now that I'm in the edit page, I'm gonna show you the first and easiest method to syncing up the audio to your video. So we can start out by just dragging and dropping my video clip right here. And this is just gonna be cam A. And you can see down here in the audio track 1 is the embedded audio with that video clip. And I can zoom in to look at the waveform. Great. Now I'm simply gonna drag and drop my audio WAV file down here on track 2. And I'm gonna make it bigger. And I'm gonna solo it for a second by hitting this S icon. There's a clean mix. I'm gonna turn up the gain a little bit so I can match volumes. And now I'm just gonna look for a spot in which I can line them up to. So I'm gonna use this placement here where the beat drops off right here. And I'm just gonna click and drag over the audio mix to match them up. So now I'm just gonna find another point here. Those look pretty matched up. I'm kind of just looking at the peaks, the transients here. I think we can go a little bit more this way. I can't quite tell. So many times I have to look for other spots in the mix. Maybe at the beginning, I want to see where I start. Okay, so this is helpful. So in the camera shot, I hear the fader slamming to the top, and I know that's when the music starts. So they're pretty lined up, pretty close. And I'm just gonna listen to them together. So they're out of phase right now, which means this one is probably a little bit delayed. Now you can also do this in the Fairlight page. So if we go to the Fairlight page, I can make this bigger. Let's just call this the video audio. And this is gonna be our H4n mix. Here we go. I found a good spot to compare. And I can just bring these right here. Just bring them closer to each other. Now in the Fairlight page, you're gonna have a little bit more control just in terms of movement. And here we go, let's listen to this part. So now we're listening to both. And I'm gonna solo the camera. And I'm gonna solo the clean mix. There we go. It's pretty good. Okay, now that they're synced up, all that's left is to mute your camera so we get the clean mix. Great. So let's delete all of that. Now I'm going to show you a much better way to do this. Let's go back to the media page. Here, what you want to do is we're going to use a tool called Audio Sync that lives in Resolve. So what you need to do is just select the two clips that you want to sync up together, right click, and go to Auto Sync Audio. And you're going to have this window with a few options. So in this case, we're not using timecode, we're using the waveform. Then it's going to ask you which channel number you want to use. So this is a stereo file, and it's going to be referencing the audio file because it knows which one is the audio file. So we need to pick whether we want to reference channel number 1, number 2, the mix, or automatic. In this case, I'm just going to hit automatic. Resolve is smart enough to know what I'm trying to do. And the other option I want to click is to retain the embedded audio. What this means is the audio from the camera is not going to be replaced by the audio of the mix. That's just my preference. If you're comfortable with just replacing it right away, you can do that. But I like to keep it in there just in case I want to use it in my edit, in case I want to just go back and listen to what the room sounded like, whatever reason, I want to keep that. So I'm going to hit waveform, automatic, and retain embedded audio, and hit sync. And we're just going to let Resolve do the work and analyze the clips. All right, as it's finishing analyzing the clips, we didn't get an error message, which means it was successful. And the way to check that now is we can go to the edit page. We can find our clip. And in this case, all I'm going to do is grab that same clip. And notice when I drag it into my track A, it's also populating track 2 for audio, which means that we have the clean mix already linked and paired up with our video. That easy. Now there's a few things to know here. You can still change the levels individually. So I can manipulate this one versus this one. They're not linked in that sense. But because now this audio is embedded with this video clip, they will move together, which is for the better. Now all that's left to do is find your starting spot. Let's say it's here, right with when I hit that fader, I can clip that, delete, and maybe we want to start there. And then I want to find the end of my mix. Looks like we're pretty close. So I can just go there and maybe add a fade out just to finish it off. I can look at my whole timeline. And as long as I keep this muted, we're just going to get that clean mix. Before I go, I want to show you how to check that this all worked and that the audio is indeed part of your video file, because it's hard to tell and Resolve doesn't really give you a good indicator that it is unless you drag it into your timeline. So if you go back to the media page and you right click on your video clip, go to clip attributes, and then under audio, you're going to be able to see the different source channels and tracks that are part of that video. So here I can see we have embedded channel 1 and 2, which is the audio that came with that video file, the audio from the camera. And now we have a linked channel 1 and a linked channel 2. That is the mix from the external recorder after we sync them together. And I can always, in here, now delete and get rid of them. I can sync up more audio in case there is some. For example, if you're using an external recorder that's going to record 4 channels of audio, let's say 2 XLR inputs and 2 stereo microphones to capture your crowd noise, you're gonna end up with 4 audio channels. All those 4 audio channels, you're gonna be able to link up to that same video, and you're gonna be able to manage them. I hope this saves you a lot of time. In the next video, I'm gonna be talking about how to sync up your camera angles, because we're gonna start looking at how to put multiple camera angles together. And just like I did right now with syncing the audio, there's a very easy way to do it, for, I would say, a great way to start for beginners, and the method that I used for many years. And now there's also an advanced pro version that makes it super easy and super fun to work with multiple camera angles. So stay tuned for that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Let me know if you have any questions, drop a comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.
Let me help you be free.